Come on, bring him here. Here. Can you get out? No. Roman, help. 200.
This Russian unit is having a really bad day after being hit by Ukrainian FPV drone.
Bring him here. Roman, help. 200. Drag him away from me. Oh, damn it. Come on, bring him here. Here. Can you get out? No. Help him get out. Help, damn it.
What? The bird. Did it fucking hit, huh? You just drove past me, guys. Damn. Wow. Throw everything out. Fuck it. The sky, the sky. Listen, damn. It'll come again. Damn. No doubt. It'll come. A damn leg. Bear it, damn it, Cossack. You'll be the leader. Damn, we got rear-ended. The stomach, the brother lifted alive. No, it's just a reflex he has, a reflex. Most likely a nerve contracting. How are you? Seems alive? Yes. The arm is just messed up. So the arm, no big deal. Everything will be fine. Everything will be great. You'll go home and rest.
One of the prominent members of the Russian biker group Night Wolves, a group sanctioned by the EU, Alexander Loshkarev Amon, got sanctioned by Ukraine in the so-called SMO zone by a FPV drone. Russian Buk-M1 is destroyed here. The Buk M1 is crucial for Russian forces in Ukraine, serving as a key medium-range air defense system. It provides protection against Ukrainian drones, missiles, and aircraft, helping secure frontline positions and supply routes. Russia's shortage of armored vehicles and lack of an analog for the M113 APC or M2A2 Bradley IFV has led soldiers to weld troop-carrying booths onto rusting Soviet-era MTLB armored fighting vehicles. It highlights the Russian defense industry's failure to adapt. The MTLB, built in Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Poland from the early 1970s, is designed to carry 11 men in addition to a driver and gunner. However, like other Soviet-era APCs, it suffers from low headroom and narrow exit doors which slow down disembarkation from the vehicle. This has often been a problem for Russian forces in Ukraine, as it leaves disembarking troops highly vulnerable to enemy fire. In one incident recorded by the Ukrainians, an entire Russian assault squad was wiped out in seconds as it exited its MTLB. The MTLB's light armor, only 3 to 14 millimeters thick, also makes the vehicle itself highly vulnerable to drones and direct enemy fire. It is incapable of resisting the Bradley's 25 millimeter autocannon, let alone tank fire. As the Russian military informant Telegram channel notes, the production of new armored vehicles is not capable of sufficiently covering the heavy losses incurred in them, and the number of vehicles removed from storage that are suitable for combat operations is becoming fewer and fewer. Many types of equipment in the first and second storage categories, i.e. in the best conditions, generally under cover, have already been exhausted, and those stored in less acceptable conditions require more and more time for major repairs and modernization. Russian troops have frequently complained about the weakness of Russian armored personnel carriers, calling them complete shit that burns and kills our soldiers. They have attempted to upgrade existing vehicles with homemade armor. This is the result, as military informant notes, of the Russian military-industrial complex's failure to adapt to the needs of the Ukraine war. As another Russian war blogger has commented, failed projects like the Armata tank have taken priority. Over the years of war, neither the industry nor the Ministry of Defense have been able to give birth to a notional analog of the M113 APC for these purposes, and the USSR did not produce such equipment at all, which excludes its presence in storage bases. Due to the fact that there is simply nowhere to quickly get such equipment from, and no one is going to produce it, the role of assault APCs has to be played by the MTLB, which is completely unsuitable for this. It is not adapted either in terms of its armor, or in terms of mine protection, or in terms of the convenience of placing and landing troops. Additionally, as military informant points out, drones have fundamentally changed the environment in which troops disembark. At the same time, due to the dominance of drones over the battlefield, the tactics of using armored vehicles have also undergone serious changes. Now, APCs and IFVs do not fight together with infantry, but try to deliver them to the dismounting line as quickly as possible, and then leave the danger zone as quickly as possible so as not to become a victim of a drone. While in many cases this has been achieved by having the troops ride on the roof of the vehicle, this leaves the soldiers extremely vulnerable to drone and small arms attacks, which can wipe out entire squads before they can even disembark. The Russians have found a solution of sorts by welding a metal booth to the top of MTLBs, by cutting off part of the roof and placing it on top of a higher structure, allowing the equipped landing force to be more comfortably accommodated and, if necessary, quickly leave the vehicle under fire. Note that even this simple modernization is carried out by repair units in the Army and by the crews of the vehicles themselves and not at factories. The booths have the advantage of allowing quick disembarkation and some protection from shell splinters and small arms fire. They are still very vulnerable to drones, however, and obliterate the MTLB's low profile. As Military Informant complains, this highlights the fact that military equipment makers often do not care at all about what the front actually needs, and the leadership of the Ministry of Defense does not understand this. We have long and often written about the current situation and the need in the Army for both simple frontline armored personnel carriers and their heavily armored versions. But unfortunately, the situation has not yet moved on from an impasse. Russia has suffered significant losses of MTLB armored vehicles and similar lightly armored transporters in Ukraine. Initially designed as a multi-purpose tracked vehicle, the MTLB has been widely used by Russian forces to transport troops, tow artillery, and even serve as makeshift fighting vehicles. However, due to heavy Ukrainian resistance, these vehicles have been destroyed in large numbers, often proving highly vulnerable to modern anti-tank weapons, drones, and artillery fire. As Russia struggles with shortages of more advanced infantry fighting vehicles like the BMP series, it has increasingly relied on the MTLB as a frontline combat vehicle, even retrofitting it with outdated weaponry. This desperate adaptation highlights Russia's logistical problems and equipment shortages. The continued loss of these vehicles severely impacts Russian mobility, making it harder to transport troops and supplies effectively. Additionally, the destruction of MTLBs and similar vehicles reduces Russia's ability to conduct rapid assaults or respond to Ukrainian breakthroughs. Without enough armored transport, Russian infantry is more exposed, leading to higher casualties. This depletion forces Russia to rely on even older or less suitable vehicles, weakening its overall operational effectiveness as the war grinds on.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.